All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the webinar. I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. I hope you're staying warm. It's brisk out here today in Utah. Let's go ahead and read a legal disclaimer real quick, and we're going to get straight to business. Today's demonstration is designed to instruct you on using Metastock and the accompanying software plugins. It's not a recommendation to buy or sell, but rather guidelines to interpreting and using specific indicators and features within the software. The information, software, and techniques presented today should only be used by investors who are aware of the risk inherent in trading. Metastock shall have no liability for any investment decisions based on the use of the software, any trading strategies, or any information provided in connection with the company. So I hope you enjoyed that as much as I do. We do have a very special guest today, Hima Reddy. Hima has done a number of events with us, from summits to our conference we did in November. And she did such a good job, and she does such a good job that we invited her to do her own very special session today. For Hima, I love the way she looks at the RSI particularly. That's what she's going to talk about. Hima, I'm just going to get out of your way.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you, Jeff. Always great to be here.
I should give you control first, though.
Oh, that would be good, yeah. Well, I'm just chatting away. So I'd love to hear a why or a yes from everyone who's here in the GoToWebinar room, because that's the question box I can see, just that you can hear me. And I'm going to show you my screen here in a second. That way you'll confirm that you see my screen. So just give me 1 second here. Move everything over and make sure I'm in the right spot. Okay. All right, can you guys see my screen? I know Jeff probably can. I want to make sure everyone here attending can.
I can confirm I can see it.
Okay. All right. and I'm not in a smoke-filled room or anything like that. This is my office. I don't get on camera for many people these days, but Jeff is one of them. So I thought I'd try and get on camera, say hi to all of you. I will come back on camera when we get to Q&A. But I want to make sure I stay focused on the teaching at hand. So I'm going to turn off my camera now and see you all in the room, and then see you back on the camera afterwards. Okay, awesome. We've got Lawrence, Richard, Ronald, Vincenzo. That's an awesome name. All right, super, great. You see my title? It's awesome. All right, let me get all these other chat windows and everything out of the way. Fantastic. Okay, so I'll be back on camera shortly, but here you are on my screen, and we will continue. Okay, fantastic. So where are you guys dialing in from? I always like to know, because, you know, the awesome thing about trading is you can do it from anywhere, right? So I'm in Milwaukee, which like Jeff there in Utah, it's a little chilly here today. Although we got up towards 50 degrees. That's pretty awesome for December. So always love hearing where traders are dialing in from. And I know some of you might be replying on YouTube. I don't have that loaded up yet, but if you have questions, Jeff is going to make sure that I can get to those when we get to the question portion. Okay, so let me just get one little click going here, and then we'll get started. All right, awesome. So it's awesome to be here today. And like I said, I really like presenting to this group of traders because you all ask great questions. You're very passionate about the markets. And I'm here to dive into, as you can see, not your mama's momentum, how to profit in any market on any time frame. So let's dive in. How to trade momentum. Okay, you're going to get a sneak peek behind the ONE Jedi indicator that helps me accurately predict turns and large moves in any market on any time frame. So let me ask you, have you ever wondered what it would be like to have an expert analyst in your back pocket? Have you ever wondered what it would be like to finally trade with confidence? Have you ever wondered what it would be like to finally make enough with trading that you could live the life you deserve? Would you like me to share an easy way to amplify the power of an indicator that's in every single trading system out there? Would you like me to share an easy pattern that allows me to predict trends in price and momentum for you? Would you like me to share an easy way to trade futures, stocks, and options? How many of you want to get as much as possible out of our time together? I want that for you too. For most of you here with us today, this is going to be a long-term relationship. Once I show you how simple this is, once I show you how easy it is to consistently extract money from the markets, once I show you how fast your business and life can grow, you'll want to hang out with me for a lifetime. In a moment, you're about to discover how to make money with future stocks and options, even if you suck at picking them yourself. You're about to discover how to capitalize off making trades at the best prices and the best times. In a moment, you're about to discover how to catch market turns and ride the price waves up and down in only minutes a day. Would you like me to show you that? Awesome. I promise that by the end of our time today, you'll know everything you need to know to pick the best trade, when to enter and when to exit in only minutes a day. Would that be okay if I pull back that curtain for you? Great, because here's the problem, right? Many traders are making it way too complicated. Many traders are getting hammered by the trends because you haven't found a consistent way to produce profits by yourself. And it's not your fault. They make it complicated. So as you listen to me now, know my intention is to help you fix that problem because you're ready to take action now. Notice, I'm going to be absolutely upfront and transparent with you today. I'm going to show you current case studies and figures today. As you all know, trading involves risk, and it's your responsibility to evaluate any information, opinion, advice, or other content contained within my presentation. Your results are up to you, right? I can't predict them. I'm not going to predict them. Anyone who says they can is lying to you. I don't know your trading plan, your account size, or markets. I can only show you what's working for myself and others. Your success is up to you. So who am I and why listen to me, right? Well, if you haven't been following me for a while, here's a mercifully short introduction. I'm Hima Reddy, and I'm originally from New York, the hotbed of the markets. And I started out at 16 years old learning futures trading from my dad, a successful trader in the Gann style of trading. In fact, my dad was so far ahead of his time that he got a chunk of Amazon stocks right at the beginning. Awesome, right? So then I went on to become a certified CMT, chartered market technician, working as an analyst at Piper Jaffray, now Piper Sandler, before going it on my own to help traders directly. And over the past 21 years, between my professional analysis in Wall Street and my international publications and my proprietary analysis and education, I've helped hundreds of thousands of individuals create a sound plan for their financial future. I'm an international speaker presenting to institutional portfolio managers and analysts, as well as individual traders, just like most of you. And I've been blessed to appear in the Wall Street Journal, Barron's, Bloomberg, Reuters, The Street, Benzinga, and all the media alphabet. I'm also the author of the trading methodologies of W.D. Gann. So how did I get here? Well, that's quite a story. Is it okay if I take a few minutes and tell you my story? It'll go by like that. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm a successful trader and educator, but it hasn't always been like this. Years ago, life seemed great. I was in the center of the action as an analyst with Piper Jaffray and making them a ton of money. Okay, starting work at 5 a.m., working late, burning out quickly. Is anyone else here a corporate cog making someone else rich? I know, right? I thought there must be more to life. You know, the money was good, but I never got to see my friends or family. You know what I mean, right? I started becoming a ghost in my own life. I'll never forget the moment the bottom really dropped out of my world, when my beloved dad and mentor died suddenly. And at first I felt like my whole world was crashing in because I had to leave my job and I had to tend to financial and legal family matters too. But then I realized that this was my ray of light, my hope to get out of the corporate grind, and I seized it with both hands. You see, while I was apprenticing with my dad to learn markets when I was a teenager, I had started a futures report that I called my Skinny on the Mini. It started out as just another exercise, but soon my dad started making money with it and relying on my little report to trade the ES. And then I shared it with other traders too, and they were benefiting. But all that stopped when I joined the corporate world. You know, conflicts of interest, right? And all those years, those traders were hounding me to get the report back. So when I had to leave my job and take over my dad's accounts to trade for my mother's future, I realized that it was time to bring back the Skinny and the Mini and reclaim my life. So I sent out the call to my former subscribers, and they said yes, they would love to get back my report that ROI'd on average 7 times out of 10. They couldn't wait to leave the hard work to me again. The result, I had my dad's in my accounts again. I started maximizing the trading methods of W.D. Gann and became the leading expert on Gann. I started teaching others the hard-earned secrets that I had learned from my late father. And in a moment, I'm going to share those very secrets with you. Because what I've discovered is that trading equals freedom. Trading equals what? Right, freedom. There's only so much time in each day. And when I found the system, I got my time back and my family back, and that's freedom. Clearly, that's what we all want, right? Freedom. Wouldn't that be awesome? But clearly, there are challenges. Many traders lose money because they don't have a proven system. Trading often feels complicated and overwhelming. Often it can be confusing, right? They made it confusing and complicated because you don't have a simple proven system, because what I'm about to share wasn't available until now. And now that it is, you've got to have your 4 zones RSI coverage system. And you'll immediately notice how much easier it is to make money trading futures, and I'll show you that a little later. So what's different about the 4 zones RSI coverage system? The 4 zones RSI coverage system gives you my Jedi indicator and system that helps you accurately predict turns and large moves in any market on any time frame. But more on that in a bit. First, we're going to dive right in. All right, guys, so we've got these 4 topics to cover here today. And the first is that trading momentum can be easy. But first, you have to understand how momentum works. And a Formula One car racing track will have you understanding momentum in no time. So let's put ourselves in the driver's seat. Okay, you're at the starting line of the track in that hot little red car. You guys see it? All right, you rev up your engine and you go. You pick up speed really quickly or accelerate on the straight runs of the track. Then you see a turn coming up and you prepare accordingly. You ease off the gas to slow down or decelerate, even if it's just a little bit, so you can have more control as the car whips to the other side of the turn. Then, after you make the turn and the road straightens out again, you hit the accelerator once more. So are you getting an idea of how you'd accelerate and decelerate on this track? Right, well, now you know exactly how price momentum works. All right, awesome. So let's take this helicopter view that you have here, all right? Put yourself from the car into the helicopter and look down on the racetrack. This is the view you'd have, right? A bird's eye view. So the racetrack becomes price as you see it on your stock charts, futures, anything else you can plot with price and time. And then momentum is generally plotted on the bottom as a subchart. Making sense, guys? Okay, great. So here's the scenario. When price is trending higher, you've got upward momentum that's improving. And that upward momentum generally begins to slow down and peak before price does, making momentum a leading indicator. Are you guys getting this? Okay, type a Y in your chat, whether you're in GoToWebinar or YouTube or anywhere else. I know that you guys are getting this. Okay, awesome, because if you've got the upswing scenario, you'll understand the downswing one too. So here, during falling prices, there's falling momentum that's becoming a more and more powerful force. But when a price bottom is approaching, you usually see momentum bottom first. Therefore, momentum indicators can warn you about hidden strength or weakness, giving you a heads up, especially when it comes to potential market turns. Making sense? Kinda, sorta? All right, you guys are getting this, yes. Now we're going to dive into the indicator. But first, let me share with you results from our trading family. Hima, I value your insights. Your momentum indicator is an integral part of what I put together. I believe I'm ready to go from paper to live trading, said Jim. Okay, so now that we've made momentum easy to understand, in a moment, I'm going to show you how you can make money trading momentum. But first, you guys want the Jedi secret? The Jedi indicator that I use? Okay, great, because I'm going to let you peek behind the scenes of my trading and show you momentum moving through the markets that you know and that you trade using my special Jedi indicator. Now, that indicator is called the RSI Power Zones, and you can use it on any market in any time frame. So take a look at the left side column here, guys. Do you see a market that you trade? Okay, indices, that includes the E-mini, S&P, Nasdaq, Dow. Stocks could be FANG or other tech or other various sectors and industries. ETFs, I know I have a lot of coaching students that trade the SPY and the Qs. Bonds, that's your 30-year bond, 10-year bond, or smaller than that. FX is currencies. Commodities includes wheat, gold, oil, so much more. And then on the right-hand side, we have just a sampling of time frames: monthly, weekly, daily, 60-minute, 15-minute, 5-minute, and I know there are more. So let me know, what market and time frame combination do you trade? Maybe you have more than one. Type it out in the chat for me, because it's important for me to see and for you guys to realize that the power zones are addressing the markets that you trade. And I'm speaking your language here. All right, awesome. So, for example, every day in the skinny and the mini that I talked about earlier, I cover the E-mini S&P 500 futures, and I analyze them on intraday charts with my trading time frame being a 3-minute chart. Okay, now we're going to go and look at how the RSI power zones work on a variety of markets and time frames for you to get to know it and get comfortable with it. Let's start by looking at how the RSI power zones work on a market that you guys ask me about all the time. And whether you trade it or not, it matters to your life. Okay, that's oil. Because even if you're not trading oil, you're feeling it at the gas tank. So let's look at the big picture on oil and then drill down. So we're going to look at the monthly chart. Okay, commodities on a monthly chart, guys. So whether you trade oil or check it out at the gas station, it's important to monitor. So we have these 4 zones on the RSI that I need you to be aware of. The 2 lower lines make the bear support power zone. The 2 lower green lines make the bull support power zone. The 2 upper red lines make the bear resistance power zone. And the 2 upper green lines make the bull resistance power zone. Okay, looking at all of these zones, we're going to look at the history of price action versus what happened in the RSI power zones on a monthly chart. So there was this run up in price that took us to these crazy new highs above $200 a barrel. And that strong advance higher was accompanied by the RSI power zones on oil rising from the bull support to the bull resistance. This is what was evident on the monthly time frame. From there, the market had a very sharp fall, as you can see here. It took out previous lows in price. And when it did this, the RSI power zones fell to the bear support power zone. Now, I was an analyst on Wall Street watching and analyzing oil and many other markets when this was happening. And I told my readers and my followers, hey guys, I don't think that this is a one and done fall here. I think oil is going to be in trouble for a while. And it sure didn't end up that way. Oil went into this giant sideways range for years. Do you guys remember that? I mean, this was wild. Now, the thing is that every single high that formed that you see with the yellow vertical lines, they were tied in with RSI power zones peaking in the bear resistance zone. Do you see that? The 2 upper red lines kept stopping the momentum force. And after falling to $100 a barrel, people thought there's no way it's going to fall lower, right? We're going to get back up to 150, 180, go up from there. Yeah, not so much. We had another drop, and it was quite substantial. And both lows in price on this second drop saw the RSI power zones push down into the bear support power zone and continue to pressure into there. This is very valuable on its own because it makes it easy to maintain the selling mentality in a bear market when you use the power zones, instead of getting excited every time it gets to some random level called oversold. You guys getting this? How using the RSI power zones would totally transformed how you looked at oil on a monthly chart during these key times? All right, cool. Let's round out the oil chart and look at another. So from there was a recovery. Yes, we know that. But even that recovery, on its first attempt higher, it made its way back in price with RSI coming back to the bear resistance power zone. And that was a warning that the recovery wasn't going to have more legs to it. So again, this is the RSI power zones as applied to a commodity we all watch on a monthly time frame because of the importance of its history. Can you see how looking at the RSI power zones on oil might have better helped you navigate trades in oil or markets related to it? All right, awesome. Now let's take a look at another popular market and time frame, an ETF on a weekly chart. So the market combination that we're on, I'm checking off in purple, and the ones that we'll cover, I'm checking off in gray. You see, we're going to accumulate a lot of examples here, a lot of case studies, so that you know that I really am showing you something that works on any active market in any time frame. So here we've got the 4 power zones again. And here we have every candlestick on this chart representing 1 week of price action, generally 5 trading days. Now notice there was sideways action on the SPY for like 2 years, big sideways range. Then price broke out above the dashed horizontal line that you see. Then it pulled back. And that pullback provided an opportunity to be ready for a long if you were using the RSI power zones, but not if you were just looking at the traditional approach. You would have totally missed this. From there, we had a huge advance higher, and that whole advance saw the RSI continuing to improve, ultimately reaching and extending beyond the bull resistance power zone. The movement from one green zone to the other helped you stay looking at the long side, looking at the buying moves in the strong advance. All right, now the market went a little wonky after this. There was this very sharp drop, and in 2 weeks, it took out the price action of the past 10 weeks. But all of that happened with the RSI power zones just moving from bull resistance down to bull support, the upper green zone to the lower green zone, basically relieving itself of overbought conditions, sort of a pause in the race of momentum. And when I was writing this Skinny in the Mini at this time, and everyone was kind of freaked out about the markets because of this price decline, I said, hey guys, I think it's just a sign that we're going to go sideways for a few months before the uptrend resumes. And that's exactly what happened. We had sideways tradable moves that showed up on the daily or intraday charts, all with the weekly chart on the SPY simply just unwinding those overbought conditions. It's like a slinky, okay? Those toys that are coils that compress back before they expand again. This is the compression of the slinky before your kid releases it down a flight of stairs. From there, we had a break higher, and it coincided with the RSI power zones resuming higher once again. And these relationships between price and the RSI power zones are evident in a variety of markets and timeframes, which we're going to continue to see here today. All right, now we're going to dive into the trade setups. But first, let me share with you more results from our trading family. Susie shared, my first month using RSI power zones was also my best trading month so far. All right, guys, by now you're getting it. Okay, so we're going to dive deep into my proprietary 3-step approach to using RSI power zones to finding great trade setups. I'm going to show you actual setups that I use and share with my trading family. All right, so here it is, using RSI power zones to identify trade setups. We're going to go through the 3 steps here in detail, and then I'm going to show them to you on a case study after case study to really solidify it. You guys ready? All right, step 1, review the chart and assess the price trend. Now, you might be like, hold up, Hima. You've been talking about momentum, and now the first step involves price? What's going on? I'm talking about price because even though this has been a momentum training all this time and continues to be, price is king, guys. Price is the source of data from which momentum is derived, and will benefit more trading momentum if we're aware of the price trend. So when you make this assessment, and I'll show you how in a moment, you'll have 3 choices you end up with: uptrend, downtrend, or sideways. And yes, sideways is a type of trend. Okay, you can be prepared for the next directional move if you know how to monitor the momentum of this sideways action. All right, that's step 1. Now, step 2, evaluate the RSI power zones reading. This is specifically looking at the RSI value relative to the 4 power zones. Right, each zone has a distinctive upper and lower border. The green lines pair together and the red lines pair together, which you'll see again. So there's 4 total zones, right? This means that there's some white space on the chart, some gaps in the RSI power zones. And it's important to know if the RSI is currently in a zone or moving in and out of a particular one, or if it's just like hanging out in that dead space that I call in between, no man's land. And we'll see that in our case studies coming up. Step 3, determine the presence of an entry signal between price and momentum. All right, and usually the best signal comes from when momentum and price are not connecting. They're not jiving together. That's usually an opportunity that we can take advantage of for profit. All right, so you've got your 3 steps using RSI power zones to identifying trade setups. And I'm going to repeat these steps, so you're going to have them down pat by the end of our training. Now, the best way for you to learn is to use actual examples. And you know, something I really pride myself on is that I practice what I preach in the analysis that I share with you. So traders in the Hima Reddy tribe get updates from me, and my members get even more detailed updates. And every single example, every single case study we're going to look at here now, I called out to my tribe as it was happening. I didn't just have it tucked away in my back pocket to pull out as a beautiful textbook example in the future. I mean, anybody can do that. I actually made the calls live while they were happening so that people have a chance to profit off of them. So I want you to type a Y in your respective chat, YouTube, GoToWebinar, wherever you are, so I know you see the value of what you're implementing here. Awesome. Now, let's look at the index futures contract, okay? I feature this multiple times a week in my Skinny in the Mini, the E-mini S&P. And we're going to look at it on a 60-minute time frame. Does anyone here trade mini index futures contracts? You're going to love this. Okay, here's a look at a recent published skinny in the mini. And I want you to focus in on the outlook, that bottom section in the text. I wrote about futures likely trading lower to 27.71 and how this might end up as a particular momentum setup. Okay, let's take a look at the charts and apply our three-step method to see how I came to that conclusion. And then look at what happened after I published the report. And these reports are published 30, 40, sometimes 60 minutes before market opens. You have plenty of time to take the analysis and apply it to your own markets. All right, so here's what the market looked like when I was preparing that particular pre-market open report. Okay, so this last candle here, that's what was going on. That what was there. So what's step one? Review the chart and assess the price trend. So to do that, let's take a look at the highs and lows coming into the pre-market hour. So I'm going to identify those for you here. So is this an uptrend, downtrend, or sideways? You can type in your guess. Go ahead. Oops. I don't know if I have the right window to see them, but that's all right. Even if you're answering in your head from observing this, it's important to get this down. A downtrend, like you see here, is a series of lower highs and lower lows in price. So that's what we have here, a downtrend. So if you guess that, awesome. Now, here's what the market continued to do after observing that price. We look at step two, the power zones reading, right? So notice that since the extreme high in price marked by the first pink dot had formed, the RSI power zones on the 60-minute chart were moving between the bear resistance zone, the upper two red lines, and the bear support power zone, the lower two red lines, back and forth. Do you see that highlighted in the yellow now? Okay. So these are two important pieces of data that we can use. And then the one that really sets you up for the best opportunity in the market is step number three, to determine the presence of an entry signal between price and momentum. Now, right here, there's a disconnect between price and momentum. And I saw the potential for that disconnect to become an even more powerful setup. That's why in Outlook for that morning, I also wrote word for word, quote, so if you take any further short positions, watch close to protect your profits. Okay, where this chart is right now, I said, if you take any further short positions, watch close to protect your profits. And what happened next? Let me show you the money. Futures traded lower to complete the price and momentum pattern that I'd suspected. So I trusted my signal observation, and then the price and momentum verified it. So here's exactly what happened. This led to the ES forming a low at 27.6025 into 11 a.m. Eastern, and rallying to 28.5375 into the session close. Now, an ES point is $50. So in one day, just off of this price action, that's a $4,675 move in price, just based off of trading one contract. And while this happened on the ES futures in recent months, in these volatile and uncertain markets that we're in, there are setups like this that happen in all kinds of markets and timeframes. And I have a whole training that dives into RSI power zones for true mastery. And I'll show you that setup in module number 2, because I can't teach you everything you need to know in under an hour. It would do you a disservice and it would shoot you in the retirement. Yeah, I said shoot you in the retirement. Okay, money isn't just about money, guys. It's that blood, sweat, and tears that it took you to make it. And you can't afford to lose any of it. So I'm here to help you maximize it. And of course, I cannot teach you everything that I've learned in 21 years in an hour. So warning, don't do this at home without help. After all, that's what brought you here today. If you could do this without help, you wouldn't be here. So in a moment, I'm going to show you what you've been missing, and then we can look at how I can teach you more in depth. Making sense? Are you getting this? Okay, type a Y if you understand, because we're going to dive into another one of your faves. But first, I have to know you're still with me here. Okay, awesome. Let's take a look at another index futures market, the Nasdaq E-mini. This time, we're going to look at a 120-minute chart. Here's what the market looked like when I was preparing a recent pre-market open report. Step 1, review the chart and assess the price trend. Follow these blue dots, guys. What's going on here? Are we in an uptrend, downtrend, or sideways? Well, trends persist until they don't, right? So this is a situation where we had an uptrend, and with that most recent blue dot that made a lower low, we're possibly changing to down. So uptrend in price, but there's a possible shift going on. And that's a condition that you can recognize and profit from. Awesome. All right, now let's look at step 2. Evaluate the RSI power zones reading. Notice that the RSI power zones on this 120-minute chart returned to the bear support power zone after not registering those levels for 10 trading days. So they came back to a recent overbought level, oversold level, and it was very close to one 10 days ago. And when you look at that 10 days ago, the first yellow dot, you can see what happened. So that's another observation that helps us be ready for opportunities between price and momentum. Step 3, determine the presence of an entry signal between price and momentum. There was a continuation signal emerging, suggesting more downside after that initial shift in trend. And that's why in the outlook for that morning, I wrote word for word, quote, the outlook is for futures to resume lower while beneath 9193, which is right here, okay? So while that resistance stayed intact, what I said was, quote, the outlook is for futures to resume lower while beneath 9193, one of my resistance levels marked by a blue horizontal line and highlighted for you here. Do you guys see it? This is important. Okay, so what unfolded from there? It's time to show you the money. Futures rallied back into the noted 9193 resistance. That's that dashed line that I now have there. Okay, this, along with the downside continuation pattern between price and momentum, led to the following. A high forming at 9202.75, the beginning of the green arrow, into 10:45 a.m. and trading down to a low at 88.7825, the end of the green arrow, the point, and to 3:30 p.m. Essentially, the session closed. Now, the way that the Nasdaq futures are priced, this created a $6,490 move in price that you could have taken a chunk of. What if you got half of that? What if you got 60% or 80%? That'd be awesome, right? And while this happened on the Nasdaq futures recently, again, in these volatile and uncertain markets, there are setups like this in a variety of markets and timeframes. I have a whole training that dives into all 4 of the RSI power zones, and I'll give you that signal in the system. I'm just showing you here what you didn't know that you didn't know. The trading can be simple when you follow the expert. Making sense? Are you getting this? Okay, awesome. We've got another chart here to look at. Let's go back to commodities, and this time look at a daily chart, one that you asked me about a lot in monthly group coaching live, something I do for my members. Okay, gold futures. Now, we're going to be looking at gold on a daily chart, and you can see the other examples we've been covering here, covering a lot. So I wrote about gold futures, GC futures, and a quarterly market update, which I do every quarter. This specific one was on February 7th, okay, of this year, 2020. Now, it said, it gave an outlook, and what we're going to do is analyze how the RSI power zone steps would have played out. So step number 1, review the chart and assess the price trend. What do you see here? Well, I'm cluing you in with blue dots that it's an uptrend, but now it's an uptrend that's kind of gone sideways, right? It's just moving in a sideways range, eating up time, but not going there, anywhere much in price. And that happens in the market all the time. So now we move on to step 2, evaluate the RSI power zone reading. Where is the RSI? Where is the actual RSI value? That's what we're really trying to nail down here. It's currently in the bear resistance power zone, just between the 2 red lines, but look at it versus the price uptrend. It's lifting up out of the bull support power zone. See how it came to those 2 lower green lines and is lifting up? That's the important thing. It's not just the actual RSI number, guys. It's how it's moving between the zones. Write that down. It's not just the RSI number or value, it's how it's moving between the zones. That's important in step 2. Awesome. Okay. Step 3, determine the presence of an entry signal between price and momentum. There was yet a different type of market continuation signal. And in my outlook, I suggested a breakout higher in GC accordingly. How did the market trade from there? Let's look at the money. Futures traded higher off the 1560.2 low towards the beginning of the green arrow, rallying up to 1700.8. That was a $14,060 move in price. And remember, I called this out to my tribe as it was happening. Okay. Didn't just pull it out for a rainy day. This was while it was happening so the tribe could take advantage of it. And I'm very excited to be sharing this with you today because I'm really passionate about the work I do to provide traders with the best analysis and education to trade the markets so you can take control of your financial freedom and live the life you and your family deserve. So by now, you know that RSI power zones can really boost your trading because whether you're new to studying momentum or you've been doing it for many years, this approach can really help you extract more profits from the markets and be more consistent. And consistent profits is what it's all about, right? Making sense? Are you getting this, guys? Type a Y for me if you want more consistent profits. I don't know who's not typing Y for that. All right, great. That's what I like to see. And that's the results our trading family loves to see too. Like David. I installed the RSI Power Zones indicator and it's just amazing how accurate it is on all markets. It actually gives advance warning before the price moves. So let me ask you, did I provide value for you today? Did you learn? Are you ready for more? All right, then it's time to master RSI Power Zones. So far, you've heard about how I've come to really benefit from using the RSI Power Zones. Here's what more of my students have to say. I was very impressed with the education Hima provided that came with my indicator. Hima's RSI Power Zones indicator has become the standard in all of my charts, said Rob. Norman shared, a day after learning one of Hima's RSI Power Zones trend continuation entry signals, I tested it out on a 5-minute chart of Tesla. With this one trade, I made over triple digits, covering the cost of her newest course. I got your RSI Power Zones training, and the next morning on the market open, I found UNH as a short candidate using the weekly chart. By the time I sold the position, it nearly paid for the whole course. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and keeping your content reasonably priced, said Aaron. So will you be our next success story? Making sense? Are you getting this? How simple it can be to trade when you have help? Great. So imagine and picture this. You finally able to turn your trading around and make more money with trading and live the lifestyle you've always wanted. Giving back to your community the ways you've always wanted to. Sounds great, right? Spending all the time you want with your kids and grandkids. Great. So here's what I've got for you. This system that can give you all that is the 4 Zones RSI coverage system. Before I give you this opportunity, let me show you the features and benefits using the system will give you. Rapid results. You can learn to use this system in as fast as 60 minutes and you'll be up and running. It's perfect for any account size, $5,000 or $10,000, $100,000 or $1 million or more. You can trade this. You pinpoint your trades faster, so it takes less time. Get more profit because it's perfect to add to whatever you're doing right now. Perfect for beginners, so easy that anyone can do it. Perfect for experts to diversify their accounts because the 4 Zones RSI coverage system gives you all this. But first, who is this not for? This is not for those who are trying to get rich quick. Okay, like anything worthwhile in life, trading takes consistent work to get consistent returns. So if you're here to play the slot machines, this is not for you. So who is this for? This is for those who are ready to analyze the markets like the expert to optimize and boost their trading. This is for those who want to diversify what they're already doing for additional profits. This is for those who are ready to step up and take action for their own financial freedom. Since you're still sitting here with me and you're taking the time to learn to boost your trading, you're ready to take action now because it's time to remember what you forgot to remember. You can let it be easy. In my 4 Zones RSI coverage system, I give you my 21 years experience on a silver platter, and it's 100% focused on step-by-step systems, instantly accessible, starting with video tutorials, where I take you by the hand and I move you through the 8 phases of a trade. So you have a complete system to your approach that you minimize mistakes. I give you my top RSI Power Zones trading signals from years of study and observation with various real-world examples across multiple markets and timeframes. I walk you through the best entries, exits, and protective stop strategies so you can extract the most profit from the market using RSI Power Zones, and much, much more. Now, to make it even easier, you'll also have cheat sheets that you can download and print out and keep right by your trading desk. You know, back when I was in middle school, I remember, especially in science classes, it really helped when we'd learn something on Monday, and by Thursday, you had a pop quiz, but actually learned, and I was getting more into my brain when the teacher let us have a cheat sheet. So that's what I want. I want you to have these tools by your side to help you put this to work faster, to boost your trading out faster. Okay, so you're gonna have easy to read grids like this one, along with step-by-step trading strategies. I have a whole 7-step approach to trading with the RSI Power Zones, and you'll have them all filled out to deploy, print out, keep on your desktop, whatever works for you. All right. Now, you're gonna love this, okay? This is the very thing everyone's always pestering me to get, but I had to have it specially coded for you. I'm also including the RSI Power Zones indicator on a variety of platforms, including Metastock. Now, we're here hosted by the awesome Metastock team, and I want you to be able to use this indicator on right away. So in fact, in a moment, I'm going to be showing you market examples from Metastock charts with the RSI Power Zones on them. And when you get this indicator in the system, whether for Metastock or any of the other popular platforms, you can download the indicator for as many of them as you like, as many times as you like, to as many computers as you like, forever. There's no limit. Now, I've had traders email in and offer me hundreds of dollars just for the indicator alone, and I'm giving it to you here as part of the complete system in a 10+ common platforms that you can download for. I even have the settings, everything ready for you to program in case you use something different. So I've included everything here to get you set up for success. The only thing you could still possibly need is for me to take you by the hand personally and help you. Actually, would you like that? I mean, would that help you if I hopped on the computer with you and showed you how it's done and answered your questions right there on the spot? All right, cool. Well, I'm going to give you everything, including me. Monthly group coaching for life. That's right, for life. Once a month, you'll get together online with me personally, and we'll spend an hour together, and I'll personally walk you through the markets, doing analysis with open Q&A to help you become the trader that you want to be. Making sense, guys? Would you like to get your hands on that? Great, I've got it all ready for you. The 4 Zones RSI coverage system with the on-demand video tutorials where I take you by the hand through how to best trade with the RSI Power Zones is valued at $1,997. The cheat sheets that you can use as a daily trading guide to learn the system faster and more easily is valued at $197. Monthly group coaching live, I mean, this is priceless, but if I had to put a price on it, this is easily $797 for just the first couple months, because I easily charge $500 an hour for my one-on-one coaching. But here you get me in group coaching for life. The RSI Power Zones indicator, available for the most popular trading platforms, including Metastock, with free updates for life, is valued at $497. The total value is $3,488, and it's worth every penny. And let me ask you, if all this system did for you is help you to trade an additional market this week, would it be worth it? Yes. If all the system did for you is help you finally make money trading with momentum, would it be worth it? Absolutely. If all the system did for you is help you make so much money with trading that you can quit your job, travel the world, and live the lifestyle you deserve, would it be worth the investment? Of course. The total value of this system is $3,488. Because I want to make an investment in your future, because I want you to see return on your investment quickly. For limited time, I'm making this system available for one low, easy investment of $297. And you can get started now by heading to himareddy.com/RSI. And I'll make it even easier for you. When you visit himareddy.com/RSI and invest in the system today, I'm going to give you all this because I want to see you finally succeed in your trading. So I'm giving you our personal 100% satisfaction buy-it-back guarantee. Right? Take action now, use the complete package for 90 days, wear the tires off the system, and if you are not 100% satisfied with your investment, then I'll give you your money back as my gift to you. I want you to be 150% satisfied with the 4 zones RSI coverage system. Because after all, my clients tend to stick around a long time and become my friends too. Right? Follow the whole system. I want you to get up there and treat it like a rental car. Put it through its paces, drive it all over the place, wear the tires off the thing. And if you don't feel you've gotten far more than your investment, then I'll hop on the phone with you personally, work with you. And what I really want is for you to be totally satisfied. And that's what we guarantee. If this still hasn't happened, then I'll give you your money back. Simple as that. Again, the total value of the system is over $3,488. And for a limited time, I'm giving it to you for the simple, easy investment of $297. So go ahead and take action now. You can go ahead and visit the page to sign up, and I'll show you here exactly what will happen. And then, like I said, we're going to take a look at some live markets on your Metastock charts. So when you sign up, you'll immediately get a login access email with details to enter the RSI Power Zone system at my educational portal. And all the training you need is right here. Okay, start where the yellow arrow says, start here. And it'll walk you through. There's a path and a direction that I take you through to be able to learn the content quickly and most effectively. And what's all this other cool stuff here in the portal? That's all undisclosed bonuses, and you're going to love it. Okay, we love to over deliver. So I promised you Metastock charts because we're here hosted by Metastock. And I want to show you what is going on in the markets recently with the RSI Power Zones. You guys ready for that? All right. So I'm going to bring these up and turn my camera on so you can see me, hear me, analyzing the markets, and start answering questions as they come up. So let me give that a whirl. Okay, awesome. So here we have the SPY. So Jeff gave me these charts because I'm still making my transition into getting my Metastock set up. But I want to show you a couple things here, right? So I'm going to look at you here and I'm going to look at the chart. Do you guys see how this is a daily chart and there are 3 different moving averages, blue, purple, and black? Okay, those are part of the 4 zones RSI coverage system. And they're a moving average filter. That's really great if you're new to the markets and you're not quite sure how to assess the trend with the highs and lows yet. This is a great way to begin that path. And I give you the exact parameters that you need in order to know if you're an uptrend, downtrend, or sideways. So based on what I see in the SPY here, we are in an uptrend. We've got higher highs and higher lows. And these were captured through yesterday, I believe. And we are sailing higher, just in a steady fashion. And I've been writing for my skinny in the mini customers that the market feels like it's waiting for something. I'm not sure exactly what. It could be another stimulus package from the federal government. Could be more decisive federal election results, right? Are we going to have a mixed Republican Democrat federal government or all Democrat? That's what the Georgia Senate runoffs are going to tell us in January. Are we going to have a smooth transition of power in the presidency? I mean, there's so many uncertain things. Oh yeah, and then on top of all that with COVID, right? So what I'm seeing here is a steady path higher and little dips along the way to take advantage of. So it's a boring chart, but in a good way. If we applied the 3 steps here, we've got an uptrend, we've got the RSI power zones moving after making essentially a double bottom back beneath the bull support power zone and then just sailing higher. So let's take a look at another chart, Google. Now, Google is a component of the S&P, right? But it's also a component of the FANG stocks, those very popular set of tech stocks. And here you can see that we have a disconnect happening between price and momentum in the recent action. It's not a reason to go dumping all your Google shares or selling them, but this is a situation where if I was sitting one-on-one with one of my coaching students and they asked me to look at this chart, or I was in monthly group coaching live, my overall commentary would be at this time, and I'm looking behind my microphone for the rest of the chart here. If you're not already long Google, be cautious about perhaps buying anymore, okay? All right, so I'm gonna move on to another chart here. I know my webcam, I'm testing out my webcam, like I said, for the Metastock team. I was excited to meet Jeff and see him and have him see me. But I think you're still able to see the stock charts well. So that's the important thing, even if I'm fuzzy or whatnot. Okay, look at this gold chart. Gold futures, guys, GC. Here we're in a very interesting situation. Notice that in this correction since August, right, we've been churning lower, starting to finally bounce off of this longer term moving average. And I give you all the settings and all the types of moving averages I'm actually using in the system. Where we are between the blue and purple moving average is an excellent, what I call inflection point in the markets, meaning the market is wanting to make a decision and it's just kind of like teetering back and forth which way it's going to go. So I think it's more likely to move higher from the current levels, but I want to see it come back and clear the most recent lower highs from late November before then coming in and accumulating long positions. Okay, as you heard me say earlier, I am a student of Gann. My dad studied Gann, and Gann's approach, W.D. Gann's approaches to the market, the first things I learned. So I respect price above all else. But after I look at price, I look at time and I look at momentum. And you can really get a lot of information out of those three. I call it my trifecta. All right, we've got Netflix here. Now Netflix is in a big sideways range. I don't know about anybody else here, but I just got the email saying my Netflix subscription price is going to raise from $12.99 to $13.99. And I don't think there's anybody who would cancel their subscription for that. So from a fundamental point of view, I think Netflix is in a good position. But looking at the chart now with the RSI power zones, you can see that it has come back above those shorter term moving averages. And that's great. That's a good sign that bulls are building. Now I want to show you something else, guys, very important on this Netflix chart. Take a look at my mouse. Look back in June. Look back in August, September, late October, early November. Every single one of those price lows coincided with my bull support power zone, not the traditional RSI overbought, oversold levels. You would have completely missed the opportunity if you only followed the singular overbought and oversold in the traditional RSI definition. That alone should inspire you to take your RSI power zone study to another step. Because nobody wants a missed opportunity, right? Awesome, especially when you can manage the risk. And I teach you that. I teach you everything, including the risk management tools to use. All right, I think we have one more here, and that's Apple. So Apple, very popular traded stock. Some of you may be trading it outright now that the price is lower after the stock split. Maybe you're still just trading options and other strategies around it. Here we've got Apple starting to make higher highs and higher lows. Okay, if we look at the early November situation, we had a run up, correction lower to a higher low, and now we're starting to move higher. And notice both of those lows lifted out of the bull support power zone. Same thing back in mid-September. Had you been only looking at the standard RSI, which many of you probably were, you would have totally missed that. I didn't miss it though. And I could have my members ready for it when they ask me about it. So that's a look at some markets that you guys trade that you asked me about in Monthly Group Coaching Live on your Metastock charts. And Jeff and the team have put in the RSI power zones into the 4 zones RSI coverage system, which I thank them for. So if you want to see all the details of everything come together here, here it is. So again, you need to take action now because this offer is only available until 10 p.m. Eastern tonight. And I want you to go ahead and visit himareddy.com/RSI to take advantage of this limited time offer and get my whole system for just $297. And I think I have a few more minutes here. I'm happy to stay a little longer, but Jeff, I'm welcome to take any questions that are coming in that you can feed to me.
Yeah, we have a couple questions. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, gonna get my water.
Right,
I can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. Let me get situated here. A Gente on TV says, or a Gente on YouTube says the entry signal for the long position, would we consider the first green line in the power zone of the RSI or a bounce off of it?
That's a great question. So he's talking about how the zones function. And so when you have any two of the zones, so let me go back. Oops, not the end. Let me go back on an example here. All right, so the matching color lines create a zone together. So it's not just about how it's reacting to one border or another, it's how it's reacting to the entire zone. Some of my students like to plot this in shaded areas. So they download the indicator from the system, and then they create a green shaded area or a red shaded area. So it's more about the activity out of the whole zone, not just how it's reacting to one of the lines. I think that answers that question.
Yeah, that was really good. We did have a couple, we don't have a lot of questions, but we did have a couple of questions on the period settings that you use for the RSI.
Yeah, so all of those settings I provide in the system because I did make some changes that are important for you to have the education that goes with it. You know, I could easily not do any monthly group coaching, not have created any teachings about the signals, and just created the indicator, because you can see the value even just looking at the RSI this way. But I give the settings in my education now, because then I know that you have me and my team as a resource for your follow-up questions. So yeah, everything is there in the system.
All right, perfect. That's it. Those are the two questions that kind of came up.
Okay. Well, awesome.
Other than that, Hima, great job. I really like the charts you showed at the end. I thought they were beautiful.
Well, thank you. You're the one who made them and handed them to me, so I would hope so. Yeah,
All
no,
right,
it's
well,
definitely a great tool here. I'm just going to come back here to the summary in case anyone has any questions there. And yeah, like one question that comes up a lot that I'll preemptively answer, because I know it's probably in your heads. I really do mean monthly group coaching for life. Like, my education to traders started almost 5 years ago, and every single month I am doing monthly group coaching. So even through all this crazy pandemic, everything else, I'm being there for my traders once a month. And then, you know, I have other groups of traders and individual traders I work with more case by case, one by one basis, but monthly group coaching for life. I'm just trying to point out that that's not something you get a lot out of. Usually people want you to sign up and then charge you again in a year. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just not my MO. I want to give you the tools for life and the resources to be able to use them best. So hopefully I'll see you all in the tribe soon as new members of the 4 zones. Otherwise, you can reach out to my team at support@himareddy.com if you have any other questions that came up that we weren't able to answer here tonight.
And the URL for that again is himareddy.com/RSI.
Yeah.
Thanks, Hima.
Okay. Thanks, Jeff. It's good to see you. Have a good holiday season, and take care, everyone. Have a good night, and look forward to seeing you soon.
All right. Thank you again for everybody coming. Thank you, Hima, for presenting today. I do want to just spend a second to say that we do have a full 8-hour session this weekend for the last Traders Summit of the year, metastock.com/traders-summit. You can register for free. I hope to see you there. Regardless, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a good holidays. And we'll see you hopefully on Saturday. Have a good one, guys.